the Briscoes used to play this game called King of the Road, and at any time, if you called King of the Road, the car would stop and everybody had to get out and grapple. And it was like basically whoever like you could go 3-on-1 if you wanted to, but I mean, like this King of the Road situation would happen where they would grapple and I mean they'd fight and like can you imagine?
Why? I'm fascinated and I love it. But could you imagine having to make the next city?
Especially when everybody in the car is a shooter.
Well,
You
I
know,
guess
like
that's why they were doing it, right?
yeah,
For
yeah,
bragging
yeah,
rights or whatever.
yeah. I mean, it was just like,
Was there ever a time when like Triple H pulled the car over and said, "King of the road," and you and Scott and Hunter had to beat the shit out of each other on the side of the road?
if it was nighttime, nobody could have got out of the fucking van. Paul could have got out and
Just him, though.
done a Chinese fucking fire
Fire
drill.
drill. Exactly.
I was usually coherent enough to change the radio station.
Well, good question. Who was in charge of the radio? Was it always the wheelman?
Yeah, I mean, I would always, um, like when I was driving, absolutely. But then at the same time, if it's a long trip, like at that point, like when I first broke in up there, like Scott and HBK, Sean were both listening to country music.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I
you
think
had
we
to get
talked about that
yeah,
actually.
you had to
Yeah.
get that Merle in.
Right.
But then at the same time, years later, Merle Haggard comes with the Peabody here in Daytona Beach, and I bring my son. So my
That's
son's
right.
my son
Yeah.
saw Merle. Yeah, my son saw Merle.